Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about the appellate argument in the massive civil case brought by the New York AG, Letitia James, against Donald Trump. This is the one that was in front of Justice Arthur Engoron and that resulted in a verdict in the 150 million range, which is trebled. And then interest accrues. Remember the drama of Trump's maybe not even being able to post a bond, because to appeal you normally have to post a bond in the amount of the judgment. But this very court, the appellate division, the one between the trial court, Engoron, and the highest court in New York, which happens to be called the New York Court of Appeals, this is the appellate division, reduced it to $175 million, and he was able to pony that up with the help of a California friend. All this more than you need to know for today. But that's, remember, the case. And now it goes up to the appellate division to hear Trump's appeal, having posted the $175 million bond. Now, his number one defense at trial basically was, hey, we paid the banks back, so nobody got hurt. And what's the big deal here? And they're just, Letitia James is just, coming after me as she promised to do in the campaign. And the response to that, the right response under the law is, this isn't about banks being victimized. This is about you being unfairly enriched, because you, by this blatant, and it's clear they did it, manipulation of valuations of property. Remember this, the most really flagrant being just calling a 10,000 square foot apartment 30,000 square feet, but basically highballing in order to get loans, and lowballing in order to pay taxes, all a sort of whole Trump MO as revealed by Michael Cohen. This is really the suit that Michael Cohen gave birth to. And under the New York law that Letitia James brought, it's not about a victim. It's about unfair enrichment. And the theory of the case is, hey, he was able to get much better rates because he lied about the valuations than he would have had he told the truth. So he, through the use of fraud, made a ton of money, and it doesn't matter that the banks were paid back and didn't suffer losses. Okay, and that is the law. We looked at it at the time. Nevertheless, it was really clear that fact was a real sticking point in the oral argument in front of the appellate division today. There were just the three judges were troubled by it, even if the law provides for it. So the person arguing for New York, the Deputy Solicitor General, really got a lot of pushback on, is there even authority to do this in the first place? Here's what one judge wrote. Justice is how you call them in New York. The immense penalty in this case is troubling. How do you tether the amount that was assessed by the court to the harm that was caused here, where the parties were happy when they got out of it? And the response was, as it was at trial, look, it's ill-gotten gains. It's not tethered to that. But you can see that members of the court think maybe it should be. Maybe they're going to say that, there's something constitutionally flawed about the law. I mean, that wouldn't normally be their job. And, maybe they'll just, say the law is the law. But, relatedly, the judges were asking, how did you calculate the disgorgement? And the focus was on, basically the unfair amount of money he made that he shouldn't have made if he was being truthful. But it's obviously the court was thinking, wow, maybe there's the law there, but that's sure a really big hit. There has to be some limitation says a judge, and what the Attorney General can do in interfering in these private transactions as they are, where people don't claim harm. So they were looking for a limiting principle. And the New York said, well, it's not just falsity. It has to be related and relevant to the business at hand, and it does have to have a capacity or tendency to deceive. It doesn't say a lot because the whole point is that this was deceptive. So what do you got? You got an enormous 454 verdict in a case where, as you know, Trump has insisted from the beginning, it's unfair because banks got paid back, but they got paid back the lower rate, and they saved this enormous amount. So Justice Engoron below, and when we looked at it, you know, that seems the letter of the law. But you get a feeling from questions from an appellate panel. I wasn't there. I've only read the transcript, but they find it troubling. So that could translate into some kind of legal challenge to the law itself, where the court says you can't do it unless there's this, and they announce a legal standard. More likely, and I think in any event, we should expect a pretty strong diminution of the actual award. Maybe they say the law's the law, but come on. Nobody got hurt here, and the banks were happy. So, you know, this $450 million, well, let's call it 200. I'm just making up, but what would be an example of a substantial reduction. Okay, so that's where we are for Trump's appeal of the civil case. This is the biggest one against him and really threatens his whole empire. And, you know, even a substantial reduction would still be a major hit. But based on where he was when he went in today and the, you know, kind of enormous check he was looking to have to write to New York, it was probably a good day in the sense that the odds would seem better that if nothing else, the bottom line amount will be reduced. This, of course, is just the middle level of 3 levels in New York. So there's a possible, and only possible, it'll be up to the New York Court of Appeals, the Supreme Court, but there's a possible appeal in the future, and even cross appeal, which means that both parties could potentially ask the New York highest court to revisit aspects of the ruling of the appellate division. So that's where we are now, probably looking at less money. He's going to write a big check one day for this case, whether or not he is president, but it'll be a while, and it may be a fair bit less than, at least right now, seems to be in the cards, the near $500 million. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.